All right, guys, we are live. This is the Shillan and Duffy show, recapping UFC 320, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. I am your host. My name is Keith Shillan. Joining me, as always, is the senior editor of Sherdog.com, the great Ben Duffy. Ben.
Yes.
Shama.
Give me Shama over Chiwiwis like every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Whoa. Let's not get crazy. All right. Obviously, we got 14 fights to talk about. The main event was a rematch. It was a fight that did not last very long. Alex Pereira, a couple months ago, heading into their first fight, was the scariest man in the world. He was the one who knocks everybody out. Then he looked flat. He lost. And everyone jumped off the bandwagon. It was, he's all done. Ankalaev's going to beat him again, and it's going to be the last time we see of him. His time was gone. And then he said, y'all must have forgot, except for the Shillan and Duffy show, who did pick a consensus underdog pick. I know I picked a first round knockout. You pick a first round knockout too?
No, I picked a third round knockout. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would. That was, I mean, if you'd asked me again after Ankalaev kept pissing Pereira off, I might have revised my pick.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I know I'm second guessing myself. I think I might have picked second round knockout, but either way, this guy showed everyone why for a short period of time in May, he was the face of MMA. We thought it might be over, but it's not. He's the man again. All right. I'm gonna start with the first. I'm gonna live in the moment for a second. Let's do it. You know what? That's something we never do. Let's do buy or sell.
Okay.
All right. The first fight was a fluke. Buy or sell? Buy, I mean, you agree with it. Sell, you don't.
I want to skip to the end of your questions, but I'll just say sell for now.
So you're saying the first one was legit?
What I would say is, if they fought for a third time, it wouldn't look like the first fight, and it wouldn't look like tonight, but it would look closer to tonight.
Yeah, I am buying it. Alex Pereira, he does not seem like the kind of guy that would make excuses. When he got knocked out by Israel Adesanya in their rematch, he didn't make excuses. At least that I can remember. He said that he had a hurt hand. He said he had some kind of like sickness. He didn't feel like
rotavirus, which is like it's a stomach bug that actually quite a few fighters have gotten it, like kind of leading up to fights. It makes the weight cut miserable. You get like diarrhea, vomiting, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if some of it has to do with weight cutting, or not that I'm a doctor by any means or anything like that. I'm thinking the way he fought the first one, if he was missing big and Ankalaev was reacting to takedowns, getting takedowns, stuff like that. But the fact that he was not throwing any volume, he wasn't throwing his leg kicks, he wasn't doing anything. I'm starting to think that first fight was a fluke. I'm thinking it was everything went right for Ankalaev, everything went wrong for Pereira, and then on top of that, it was really close. I'm thinking if they fight 10 times, Pereira's going to knock out 9 of them. Am I living too much in the moment?
Maybe slightly, but not by much. Because
all right, 8 out of 10.
The other
8.5 out of 10.
The other thing is there's a difference between just, okay, we're going to take 10 alternate universes and we're going to have them fight on the same weekend 10 different times, see how it plays out, versus we're going to have these dudes actually fight 10 times. Because if they do a trilogy fight, both of these guys are going to remember tonight really, really well.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect how they both come out for that fight. And Ankalaev is already conservative to a fault, which works great when he's winning, it does not leave him well equipped to come back if he's losing.
What was the? Do you remember what the betting line was for tonight's matchup before while we were doing the preview show?
Yeah, while we were doing the preview show, I still have my notes right in front of me. It was Ankalaev minus 260, Pereira around plus 215 or plus 220.
Okay, do you know what it closed tonight?
I do not know what the closing line is, but it will take me literally 5 seconds to find out.
Okay, so but I'm guessing it's probably not too much money came in either way, but
it closed exactly the same.
Okay, exactly.
Ankalaev around minus 250,
So
Pereira around plus 210.
I mean, he's closer to a 3-1 favorite than he was a 2-1 favorite heading into tonight.
Yes, which is just bananas.
What do you think the bet line would be if they did a trilogy fight?
I think Ankalaev comes in, or Pereira comes in as the favorite, but it's not a 2-1 thing. I bet if they fought a third time, we come in with like Pereira minus 180, Ankalaev plus 145, plus 150.
It wasn't Ankalaev a slight favorite in their first fight?
That's a good question.
I think he was very slight favorite, or maybe it was.
While I look it up, talk about the stoppage, because the chat right now, and welcome to all the new people there, including Hustlebones, who's kind of at the front of the wagon talking about the stoppage. Address that real quick while I look up those odds.
What I was going to say was either way, and I'll get to that stoppage real quick. Either way, the fact that so they're saying Ankalaev was. So Dev is saying plus 1. I don't know what they're saying. If that's
the first time they fought, Pereira was almost a pick 'em.
Okay, so almost pick 'em. So my point is, we both agree that Pereira would be a pretty big favorite. The fact that he lost, so when they fought, whatever, how many months ago, there was a pick 'em fight. Then he loses to the guy, and now we're saying he would come in on a trilogy even bigger favorite than he was for the first fight. Yeah, as far as the stoppage, I had no problem with the stoppage. He's getting 12-6 elbowed to the head. His head bouncing off the ground like it was a Brazilian basketball team. Like, what are we talking about? If and who was the ref? Was it Herb Dean? I don't remember. Was it Herb Dean the ref?
Right? Ref was Dean. Yeah, Herb Dean.
Yeah, Herb Dean. Yeah. If Herb Dean doesn't jump in there and you let Alex Pereira, the scariest human walking the planet Earth, continue to drop 12-6. I mean, remember, these are the elbows that back in the day people were scared because they crush cinder blocks and everything.
Yeah.
You give him 10 more seconds of dropping 12-6 elbows on Ankalaev. Ankalaev might have brain damage. I think it was a perfect stoppage.
I have no problem with the stoppage. Yeah, Ankalaev jumped right up after the stoppage. That just makes it an even worse look that he did nothing to improve his position before the stoppage. He was just laying there, like kind of like covering up with the glove, which, yeah, those elbows are having to go through a glove, but he switched to the body a couple times. He was still hammering the head, and Ankalaev was in the fetal position. He wasn't going anywhere, making no move to escape, making no move to improve his position, making no move to protect himself other than, covering up, which, that's covering up is not intelligently defending yourself. And I know that's not part of the official rules. The intelligently defending yourself is something that John McCarthy came up with, but what else was Dean supposed to do? Like, aside from wait for him to go unconscious?
His head was bouncing between the elbows of Pereira and the canvas. I'll say this: when it comes to Pereira winning titles, I think the stoppage against Izzy was much worse than this one. I mean, Izzy's in the 5th round. He's winning the fight. All he has to do is survive the bell. He's hurt. He's still on his feet. He doesn't even get dropped. I think that's a much worse stoppage than this was. And I don't think that was a bad stoppage either.
Yeah, I have no problem with the stoppage.
It is. Someone clearly lost money off of Ankalaev tonight, and he won't let it go.
I imagine
we've all been there.
A few people, yeah,
it's all right, dude. We've all been there. Me and Ben have picked fights wrong plenty of times. So, I'm still thinking it was fluke. I remember going. I picked this fight, and I said, no, either I think Pereira's going to remind everybody he's going to look awesome, or Ankalaev is going to probably widen the gap. I didn't think it was going to be a closer fight. And then 10 seconds in, I go, "Oh God, this is going to end bad." And I love what Pereira did. I love that we never seen him do this. Like basically ran across the cage. Yeah, I didn't physically run, but he was in his face in 1 second. Throws a big shot, instantly forces Ankalaev onto his back foot. 1 second into the fight, and he never got to step forward. He never got to step forward. It was awesome.
And that, if you told me before the fight that, okay, Pereira is going to close the distance faster than he ever has in his entire career, like let alone, since moving up to light heavyweight, that he was going to cross the cage faster than he ever has in his entire professional career, and the first punch that he throws is just going to be a big old overhand right, I'd be like, oh, he's toast. Like he's mad, he's fighting emotional. Ankalaev, whatever his flaws may be as an entertainer, not a fighter, running straight at him and swinging wildly. If it was gonna work, he wouldn't be on on a million fight unbeaten streak. But instead, nope. He was not prepared for it.
Yeah. What makes it more impressive for Alex Pereira was the fact that other than a 1 second left in the fight, Paul Craig submission, Ankalaev has looked unstoppable. I should say looked unstoppable because he had some closer fights. But my point is, he's beat everybody. He's beat everybody's face. He's beat everybody.
Like like there was the draw with
that he should have won.
With Jan that he should have won, but yeah.
And so that makes it even more impressive that this guy put him out. I mean, what was a if I don't put in the ticker. You're much better when you control the ticker. You're much better with the details. What was the actual time?
1 minute 20 seconds.
All right, 1 minute. So 80 seconds, 80 total seconds. He puts this guy out, makes it even more impressive. What I loved, besides the pressure, obviously, Alex Pereira is stalking you against the cage where you can't really move out. You have to go left or right to really escape, and that's really not Ankalaev's game. His game is not an elusive movement, try to make you miss. Also, force him on his back foot is harder to get a double. Now, you can get some reactionary doubles if they overswing and you duck under, but that's really it. Your pressuring into a double is gone. You're pinning someone against the cage, dropping down to the leg, right in the pipe, gone. So I think besides obviously punching Magomed Ankalaev as hard as you can is a good strategy, but also the other things, trap him against the cage, forcing his, limiting his wrestling, limiting his kicks. I thought it was brilliant tonight. Obviously, he won the title back in 80 seconds.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. It's a legacy performance. He just, he handed Ankalaev his first loss in a long, long time. He did it badly enough that we probably aren't going to see a trilogy fight, at least not immediately. I mean, we'll talk about what we would do, but if you ask me to guess what the UFC is going to do, they're going to put Ankalaev not to the back of the line, but I'm guessing he has to beat two more people before.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was, I mean, when he was a champion, I was watching the official weigh-in show when I was at work the other day, and they were talking about, even the broadcast team is talking about that this guy's not marketable. This is the UFC's own people saying this, UFC and ESPN's own people saying this. So the fact that he isn't a marketable guy, doesn't speak English, you have a absolute psychopath like Yuri Prochazka ahead of him. You have Carl Solberg, this good-looking Australian guy. Obviously, those two guys are getting a shot before he does.
Well,
and that doesn't take into the fact that there's a very good chance Alex Pereira moves up to heavyweight and goes for a third title.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're Alex Pereira and you're going down, now we're doing the phone call, but we're doing with Alex Pereira, and you're giving, heavyweight title shot. You're throwing out Yuri. You're throwing out. I can see Yuri not being the sexiest fight for him, being that he's beat him twice. But Olberg, you're throwing out. Yeah, obviously, a trilogy fight. Does it really do a lot for him? I guess he wins, but does it do a lot for him to win a trilogy fight against Ankalaev?
No.
I don't think Alex picks fights. He's the guy. He's going to take him, whatever the UFC says. I mean, Dana even says that when he said this week at the press conference when a media member kind of asked him like, did he turn down fights and this and that. I want to talk about this guy. He's already won the title 3 times now. He's won the light heavyweight title twice now. He's won the middleweight title. I don't know how many title defenses, like 2 or 3 title defenses. Let's do a little game. Just because usually the main event it's quick. I mean, when it's quick, we have to fill some time. So let's do a little game. Tell me where to stop. And obviously this is just strictly going off my brain. It's not yours, but tell me when I should. How far down the list, all-time list, should I stop? Okay.
Okay.
Who's ahead of Alex Pereira if he never fights again? Tell me when to stop.
Okay.
John Jones.
Keep going.
Demetrius Johnson.
Keep going.
And this is not particularly whatever order.
Yeah.
George St. Pierre.
Keep going.
Anderson Silva.
Keep going. But
The fact that you had to think about that. The fact that you had to think about that. There was a time when many people viewed him as number 1 ever.
Yes. And keep in mind that as we go down this list, I'm not somebody that's automatically shelving people that have failed drug tests.
Yeah, obviously.
There are people whose opinions I respect that don't even put Jones and Silva in the conversation anymore. So.
Sure. You want to go outside UFC or want to keep it strictly UFC?
I'm fine with either. I mean, you know me. We've been watching this sport for a long time.
Okay. Alex Volkanovski.
That's a really now you're getting
close,
down.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, one's got the more title defenses.
I've got Volkanovski ahead of him.
It's race close now, right?
It's getting close.
Jose Aldo.
Dude. I want to say Aldo's ahead, but if I actually sat down and looked and thought about it,
you'd have to write it down, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Fedor.
Dude, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you told me in 2005 I'd be saying this, I would have slapped you and I would have gone forward in time and slapped myself. But I've got Alex Pereira ahead of Fedor Emelianenko.
Yeah. So I put you on the spot, and I'm not going to put myself on the spot because I'm a weasel like that. But if we did the pyramid thing, you put say we both agree we put John Jones that first tier, then you drop it down. We'll say the next tier. We'll say just for this argument's sake, we say George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson. Figure out the order you want, but we'll put those guys as the second tier. He's in that third tier already. He's in the tier with Volkanovski, Fedor, whoever else you want to put in, Jose Aldo,
Cormier,
Daniel Cormier. Yeah. He's in that category already. And how long has he been in the UFC?
4 years.
Is that insane? Has anybody done more in less time than him?
No.
That's not even debate, right?
No, it's like if Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey just kept getting better. Or just never got quote unquote exposed.
Yeah.
Like, because those are the people you have to think of came in and just were beating all-timer level opponents immediately. But in both cases, like once they lost one or once kind of their flaws were exposed, things kind of fell off quickly. Pereira, at this point, he's lost a couple fights in the UFC, and both times he has dusted himself off and either taken back what was his in emphatic fashion like he did tonight, or just dusted himself off and moved on to the next thing.
Answer that question.
Dude, the Khabib thing is it's a tough debate because here's the thing. If Khabib had one loss in his first 3 fights that was completely meaningless to his legacy,
right.
we wouldn't even be talking about him.
We would not even be talking about it. That's absolutely
It's
right.
like the 0 is a big deal. And no, I will say this.
And it should be a big deal. It should be a big deal.
It should be a big deal, but there's a difference between best and greatest, because Khabib at his peak may be the best fighter I've ever seen. He may be the most dominant fighter I've ever seen.
Totally.
But because he had such a slow rise, because he was a little injury prone, because until he was undeniable and really started getting mic stuck in his faces, he wasn't very memorable. He only graduated to fighting top 10 fighters in like the last 7 or 8 fights of his career.
Yeah.
Like,
and he also had some
Alex Pereira already has more top 10 wins than Khabib ever had. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah. And then he also had that insane bad luck between him and Tony Ferguson fight that got cursed. And, that was a huge fight for his legacy. And honestly, he would have mauled Tony Ferguson. But and that's not me saying this after Tony Ferguson lost 872 fights in a row. That I was saying that then, but regardless, my point is he's already in the top 10. He to me, how much this pains me to say. Like I got him over. I got him over Randy Couture.
Yeah.
I got him over Chuck Liddell. I got him over Matt Hughes. I got him over BJ Penn. Like, he's ahead of these guys. Yeah. Randy Couture won the title 5 times. And he's my favorite fighter of all time.
Yeah.
But
at the absolute peak of his career, he was like 17-10. Like, being unbeatable was never what Couture's magic was about,
No,
yeah,
absolutely not. All right, let's do the easy one first.
Okay,
let's matchmake Ankalaev for a second. We're both not giving the title shot. Not even the question. What are you doing with Ankalaev?
Well, we almost have to talk about what we're doing with Pereira first, because it becomes very different whether you're moving him up to heavyweight or you're having him defend again.
Okay, sure.
Basically, my thing is Carlos Ulberg is fighting for the light heavyweight title next. The other person in the cage against him is really up to Pereira.
Okay, I agree. All right, so let's do that. Fine, we'll do Pereira first. So does he defend against Ulberg? So Yuri Prochazka's out. I know the UFC was kind of pushing that right after the pay-per-view ended. They actually went and interviewed him first.
I wouldn't say it's obvious like Hustlebone says it is, but you can make a good case for Yuri versus Ankalaev if Pereira moves up. It's I still think it's tough to leave Ulberg out at this point. He's won like 6, 7 straight fights, just very logically moving up through the rankings. From the marketing perspective, he's certainly more sellable than Ankalaev. But yeah, I'm not mad if it ends up being Yuri versus Ankalaev for the empty title.
Okay. I can't give. So like the 3 obvious choices right now is Ulberg, it's Prochazka, and then it's him moving up to heavyweight. To me, it's the other 2 are close, and Yuri's shot is way down. I know obviously he had a spectacular come from behind finish tonight. It was awesome. But to me, it's like that. We've already seen this guy lose twice, both emphatically. How would it look any different? Yuri always has that power, but still, that's just that. I mean, he can knock out anything, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. But it's still a really bad stylistic matchup for him. So I'm obviously I'm asking him, what do you want? Do you want to go up to heavyweight, or you want to fight Ulberg? He's probably like, whatever. I'm pushing up to heavyweight. To me, and to me it'd be gone. Aspinall winner, hoping Aspinall wins. What a fight! Would that be the biggest heavyweight fight since probably Lesnar Mir UFC 100? Am I forgetting one? DC Stipe, the first one.
I mean, Jones versus Gane felt huge.
Okay.
But it's
sure. You might be right.
It's in the conversation. And having said that, off the cuff, I don't like Ankalaev's chance, or I don't like Pereira's chances in that matchup. But I'm riveted. I want to see it.
Oh, I do. I like his chances against anybody. Here's the other thing. Some reason John Jones does not want to fight Tom Espinal.
For some reason.
But back in November, when we last saw him fight, he kept mentioning, "I want to fight Alex Pereira." He said it over and over again. I want Pereira. That's the guy I want. You bring that option that could still happen. John Jones still, John Jones fought Ankalaev tonight. I'd be getting a lot more texts tonight than I did even with Pereira. I don't think John Jones comes back. Why should he come back? But maybe. All right, so I'm doing the heavyweight title fight. If he fights at light heavyweight, to me it's Carl Solberg by a big margin.
Yeah. It's Solberg for me too.
When's the White House card? I know I should know this. April? May?
Was it that early?
Oh no, wait.
I didn't.
No, what I'm talking about. It's July 4th. It's July 4th.
Yeah, it was gonna be the summer.
Yeah, it's July 4th. You get John Jones versus Alex Pereira in the White House. I mean, that would have to be as big as Conor versus Emmitt. It'd be pretty close.
Jones clearly wants it really badly. Dana doesn't sound super optimistic about it, but I mean, he's not the final word. Like once this became a White House thing, he's not the final word on this anymore. Like there are too many people in the equation that can pull rank and say, no, we're going to have these dudes fight. So
yeah, and not to mention, like I know a lot of people say, Jones is John Jones. Yeah, I agree. Jones is done. So I don't expect to see John Jones fight again. I'm just listen. The fight ended at 80 seconds. I got to fill some time. All right. Speaking of filling time in the last 32 minutes that this show's been going on, Merab Dvalishvili got 742 takedowns on people walking out of the arena. Merab Dvalishvili took on Cory Sandhagen, with Merab winning by unanimous decision. Man, Sandhagen was good in round one.
Dude, Sandhagen was good the whole time. Here, sure. I'm gonna rant on this for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Sandhagen, I mean, this was a terrible style matchup. Having said that, Sandhagen came out like you would expect of one of the smarter fighters in the division, of a Trevor Whitman guy with the perfect game plan. What did he do starting round one? Move laterally, kick the legs, show the uppercut early. Though, I mean, I'm not a coach, but those are like the top three things I probably would have put on his whiteboard. Like move laterally, kick his legs, and do something to give him something to think about before he shoots on you literally 50 times. And he did all those things. He won the first round. But here's the thing. Merab never Merab'd him. Like, yeah, like he took over. He put on the incredible pace. He broke the UFC takedown record, but Sandhagen never went away. Sandhagen, he wasn't like, it's not like he was especially more tired than Merab at the end. Like he didn't have any answers for him, but he was still in that thing. Like compare Sandhagen's face in just not bruises, but just his expression, his body language in rounds 4 and 5 against Umar Nurmagomedov versus Sean O'Malley. And O'Malley won round 5 in the first Merab fight. And just look at just how frustrated and just out of their heads all those guys looked. Sandhagen was in this thing. Hell, how good is Merab that this fight was 49-45 all day long, and it's Merab's closest fight on his win streak?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Merab to me, obviously, is a different style, but his run that he's on right now, he's just absolutely destroying everybody, and we try to find, like, we're trying to give Sandhagen his due because he won a round, because he had moments where he landed strikes. It reminds me of Khabib's run, where we, I know when people will talk about how great Ally Quinta did in a 50-45 fight, and how bad Khabib looked in a fight that he won pretty much every single moment of the fight and didn't get hurt or anything like that. I agree. I feel like Trevor Whitman had the best strategy possible to beat Merab, but it's like when we're football guys. We'll watch football tomorrow. You could be a defensive coordinator. You can call the best defense. You could have Champ Bailey or Darrell Revis or fill in whatever, Deion Sanders, like the best cornerback ever. He's covering Randy Moss down the field. He's stride for side. He's got the inside position on him. And Randy Moss still jumps over his head and catches the ball. And it's like you put yourself in the very position to win.
Oh. Dude, you remember this game. Like Randy Moss against the Dallas Cowboys. 3 catches, which you think, all right, if we can hold Randy Moss to 3 catches, we're good. It's That's 3 catches for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
It was like 80-yard touchdowns. Yeah. And that's how I feel like this. Like Randy Moss just jumped over. Like that's what Merab does. So I mean, the first round was perfect for Sandhagen. And I'm sitting there, the round ends, and I go, oh my God, Sandhagen won. I'm like, I had that moment. I'm like, Sandhagen's gonna win. Like, oh my God, he's about to win the fight. Like he keeps doing this, and I love the strategy. I mean, Sandhagen talked about it. Like we're gonna go on the offense. We're gonna push. We're gonna push him, and we're gonna get him on his back foot. And he was doing some of this, and he was stopping takedowns. And when Rob got a takedown, he would pop right back up. And then as soon as he got any space, I remember one point, Merab got a takedown. Sandhagen got right back up, turned in, and he was maybe about 2 feet away from Rob, and he was back on the gas, right on him, throwing, like, jabbed him to the stomach. And I'm like, Sandhagen's going to make this difficult. And then it dawned on me. Everyone thinks the greatest, and I've been the person saying this myself, like, that the greatest tool that Merab has is not his wrestling, it's his cardio. And everyone has agreed, and we all jump on. And then it hit me, dude, it's not his cardio. As crazy as it sounds, it's his mindset. Because I sat there and I said, oh my God, everything went wrong. He just lost the first round. He starts out the second round. He gets a takedown immediately. Sandhagen pops right back up, breaks away, lands a combination to start. 20 seconds into the second round, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm thinking, watching at home, like, oh my God, this must suck so bad from Rob. This is it. He's found his match. And then I realized, wait, I don't have Merab's mindset, because in those next seconds, he not only hurts Sandhagen, but has the best round he has and puts a 10-8 round on him. And I'm like, oh, you can't frustrate. You can't frustrate.
And we were worried, but he never stopped smiling.
No, like he had them and we didn't realize he had them. It was it's just like, this guy's unbelievable. How do you go from having the worst round to a 10-8 round in seconds?
Yeah.
And then, I loved Trevor Whitman's strategy of like press forward, land the striking, but it's a lot easier said than done. Like it is the right strategy to force Merab back, you be on the offense. But good luck trying to find the person who can do that for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching Merab. He lands, when he's trying to get the finish, he almost had the stoppage finish. And I think it was really close. A couple more strikes there, and that fight was going to get stopped. Merab's landing all the shots, and they get back to feet. And normally I'd be like, oh shit, he blew his chance. He just probably punched himself out. He's gonna lose now. Not Merab. I didn't think that for 1 second. Just talk to me. We'll get into like some of the other stuff together. But just talk to me just overall his performance.
I'm curious. The MMA Jesus.
Yeah.
I did not know that Jorge Masvidal was in our chat, but we'll take it. Said Sandhagen won 2 rounds clearly. I assume he means 1 and 3. I definitely gave 1 to Sandhagen, and I don't have a problem giving 3.
No,
to
I think you mean 4. I think. 4
sorry, 4. 4. Yeah, thank you. 1 and 4. I have no problem with that because
I feel this. Like, is how I feel. 4th round. I feel like the 4th round was what we talk about in the past when one guy starts dominating, or someone does better than what we just saw, so we give him the round. Or we have these fights where we expect one guy to destroy the other one, then it's kind of close, and we lean towards that fighter, the underdog. I scored the 4th round for Merab. I think
so did I at the time. Yeah. But if I rewatched it, I might score it for Sandhagen. I'm not mad at anybody who gave it to him. I have a problem with clearly. I think aside from 1 and 2. They were like the other 3 rounds were pretty competitive.
Yeah. Let's do this. Ilia Topuria. Merab number 2, pound for
pound. Baby Islam.
I'm gonna put Merab over him. And I'll tell you this. When was the last time Merab had a close fight?
This was it. Like I said, this is his closest fight since the 2 fights he probably shouldn't have lost at the beginning of his UFC run.
Yeah, I mean, Islam.
I don't know about the scorecards, but this is the one that to me felt the closest. Felt like his opponent was never really out of it. Felt like he was actually in trouble at least for a minute there. This was as close a fight as he's had.
And the other argument I have is he's more active. He's fighting more.
That's definitely. What? He's a sitting champ asking to fight again in 2 months.
Yeah, he's fighting all the time. So to me, someone saying he thought Umar was 2-2 going into the 5th round.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Spaffron, like in terms of the final score, the Umar fight might actually have been closer, but the Umar fight going into the 5th round, I didn't really have any question who I thought was going to win. Again, that's just subjectively.
Yeah. So to me, and I know the argument for Islam would be like, well, when was the last time he had a close fight? Well, Volkanovski the first fight, and then he starts in the 2nd round. So that's a strong argument for him. But I mean, it's steak or lobster at this point. So I'm splitting hairs there. I think the UFC is not marketing Merab correctly. To me, he's such a different breed. Every time he gets on the mic, I'm like, this guy's brilliant. How much fun this guy is. He's so funny. I think the UFC needs to view him as, and I know they can't market every champion equally. They can't. It just obviously, but
you've been doing this for 30 years. You've had all different kinds of people as your champs. You've had George St. Pierre, the 3-piece suit guy that talks like a stick and ball athlete, like a guy that's been through PR coaching. You've had just actual criminal miscreants. Who, I mean, hell, John Jones got more popular than ever when he just embraced the dark side and just became kind of a dick. Like you would think 30 years in, they'd be able to market a guy that is kind of quirky, approachable, an incredible fighter. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah. They hopefully now going to Paramount, they'll be able to teach them how to market better, because to me, he's a gem, and you've missed opportunities because he's so different, and he's so entertaining. And I think the broadcast team said it right. He's the only guy that wrestles so much, but still somehow makes it entertaining. Like, I've never been bored in a Merab fight.
No, and you and I both like wrestling a lot. We're both wrestlers ourselves, but if you think Merab's fights are boring, you may just not like MMA. You may want to go watch kickboxing. He wrestles a lot, but it is It is furious action, and it's not like he has no clue what he's doing on the feet. His striking has been getting better and better over the years. Like his hands are just flat out better than they were 5 years ago. I asked this before the fight even started, but not even asking when is Merab going to start falling off, but at 34, when is he going to stop being better every time out? The guy is 34. We're arguing over whether he's the most dominant fighter in the UFC, and he's fighting better each time out. That is bananas.
It would make sense if he was heavyweight. This is the bantamweight at 34 doing this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which is the perfect segue. Well, you know what I want? Like he's a cheat code. Remember that All Access show they used to have back in the day? They kind of deal with the countdown show, but there used to be a TV show for people that was like a 30 minutes, and it wasn't so much looking into a fight, but it was more just like their everyday life. But it was mostly on their training. I remember one was Sean Shirk. It was like the most legendary one. It was just like Sean Shirk, like lifting weights and exercising for a half hour. I'd love to see that with Merab. I know we get a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the countdowns, the embeddeds, and everything, but you'd have to go back to see the show, and it really digs way deeper. Like they'd show like how he does his cardio, like his sets he does, stuff like that.
Oh, and I have the feeling that just following that dude around with a camera and a mic all day would probably yield you just a lot of low key comedy gold.
Oh yeah, wouldn't he? If he came to your cookout, wouldn't he be the most entertaining person?
Oh, listener of the night, already sewn up. Vice Valerie for reminding me that Sean Shirk used to eat baby food.
That's
you
true.
win. I think you're rookie of the year and listener of the night because I don't think I've seen you in our chat before, but for reminding me that Sean Shirk used to eat baby
That's
food.
right.
Oh my goodness.
I remember he had all those supplements. I remember he was like he bought like bison burger. He was talking to Leah. What was that girl's name? Leah, whatever.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, they used to have like she graduated. She went from ring card girl to like the kind of like a Nina drama. Not necessarily not as professional as like a Laura Sanko or
right. Kind of an in between, like a Heidi Androl type, the human interest, like stand up interview
like
type.
Way more like I'm super hot. Like let me hang out. You watching some hot kind of thing. Whatever that girl's name, Leah something. Anyways, I remember he like bought a bison burger and he's like, yeah, this is actually the one food I eat that I enjoy. All the rest is for fuel. I remember saying it was like, it's for fuel. It's not for enjoyment. He's like, what's I actually do like eating?
Rochelle Leah was her name.
Rochelle Leah, that was it. Nice job. I gotta pretend like I don't remember her name. I don't Google search it at least once a week. I gotta ask this question: is Merab the greatest bantamweight of all time?
Yes. And I'm only able to answer that quickly because I've been thinking about it for the last hour and a half.
Make the argument.
Yep.
And I'll counter.
Okay. My argument is he is on the longest like undefeated run in the history of the division. It should be even longer than it is. It should be 2 fights longer than it is.
Yeah, that's true.
He's already creeping up on the record for most consecutive defenses, and he's beaten most of the other people in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like
so the people who get you brought up, I think I don't want to say consensus, but the majority, if you had to pick before that, leaving Merab out, the majority leader would probably be Dominic Cruz. Some people would argue TJ Dillashaw, some people would argue Aljamain Sterling. But generally speaking, I think the majority would say Dominic Cruz. So here's my counter to yours. Okay. I'll give you that he has the most wins. This incredible streak. I'll give you that he's right there, neck and neck with I think it's 5 title defenses to 3. I'll give you, and that's kind of in WBC for Dominic Cruz. That's not strictly UFC, but that was the title. So we'll count the WBC. I'll give you that he has beaten the better names during that run. I will give you that when he won in more dominant fashion than Dominic Cruz did. But my counter argument is Dominic Cruz has better hair.
I mean, I will say this.
I'm with you, dude. My point is, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah, no, you're
with
like,
you, man.
I mean, if you want to talk about names, I mean, Cruz does have wins over Demetrius Johnson once and Uriah Faber twice, but in both cases, it's outside of those guys' best divisions.
Yeah, both of them are. Yeah, well, Faber was okay. Faber maybe. Dominic Demetrius Johnson was going up. Faber was so overrated. Yeah, the run to me, it's got to be Merab. And the funny thing is, like the only thing that Cruz has right now is the defense titles. That shit's gonna be gone probably by spring.
It might be gone by Christmas if he gets his way.
It could be.
Dude,
it could be.
Let me say one thing. Like, so Merab is on, what is it? He's on a 14 fight win streak. Okay. He's on a 14 fight win streak that, again, probably should be 16. Who in that position says, hey, the best guy doesn't always win? Like, like such a humble guy that he just cuts the legs out from under his own GOAT argument. Hey, the best guy doesn't always win. Like, Sean O'Malley was great. He gave me like really tough fights. Like, what a treasure.
Antoine Willis basically asked who would have won Dominic Cruz versus he's saying guys from the past fighting now, could he have been a 135 champion? Dominic Cruz. If Dominic Cruz fought Merab, both guys in the prime, I'm taking Merab. I'm taking Merab
too, but it's interesting. Like,
I think it would look just like we saw tonight.
Yeah. Well, just after I just barely took 1.5 seconds to say, yes, Merab's the greatest bantamweight of all time, I've always said about Cruz, the difference between him and other what if stories like Cain Velasquez is that Cain lost some fights even in his prime. Cruz, when he was healthy and around, not only did nobody beat him, nobody laid a finger on him for like 7 or 8 years.
Fair enough. And we did lose a lot of times, so that would probably be the strongest argument for Dominic Cruz.
Yeah. But to answer Antoine, like off the cuff, I'd say that Dominic's crazy movement, Merab would catch him eventually. Like, just Cruz never had the power to, as Lorosenko would put it, advertise the price of admission. So Cruz might make Merab look clunky, just chasing him around for a round or two, but give him 5 rounds, it's going to end up with Merabing him probably.
And the other thing about Cruz, and correct me if I'm wrong, did he ever win like Fight of the Year? Did he ever win Sherdog's Fight of the Year? Because to me, Merab is probably a lock for our Fight of the Year. Right? He's already fought 3 times this year, hasn't he?
Is it 3 times just this year?
Oh, was Umar this year or last year? Umar might have been last year.
That's what I'm checking, man.
It might be 2. It might be 2 times.
No, but he's 3-0. He's 3-0 already this year.
So yeah, Umar was like very beginning of the year.
It was January. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, Umar in January.
Then O'Malley trashed O'Malley in the rematch in June. Beat Sandhagen.
And he might even squeeze one more in. Like, that's insane. So he mentioned Peter Yan. There's like he doesn't really like Yan, but he always gives him like the credit for like, oh, we're really close. I'm like, dude, you freaking dominated that fight. But he's like, oh, he looks good. Are you doing Yan next?
No, I'm not doing Yan next.
Okay, because I wasn't.
You've got multiple people in that division that have won more than 6 fights in a row.
All right, I got 2
multiple
names.
Ones. I have a couple names as well.
All right, so, give me your names first.
All right,
I have only 2 names.
Well, there are 2 fights happening this month, and so I need to wait and see what shakes out. You got Umar versus Mario Bautista on the 25th.
Okay.
If somebody wins that convincingly and is healthy, I'm probably putting them next. Like, if Umar beats Bautista convincingly, I might do the rematch. If Bautista wins, I think there's no question. Bautista will have won, I think 7 in a row in that division.
Yeah.
The other one just next weekend is Montel Jackson versus Davison Figueiredo. If Montel Jackson wins, he's won 6 or 7 in a row. He's done it quietly, but dude, like, short of Merab himself, what more do you need to do? Like I say, the most likely one to come out of that, my preference, I don't know what my preference would be if I'm in the UFC, but deserve wise, if Bautista gets past Nurmagomedov, that one makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, that's the fight I'm doing first. If Umar wins, I don't know if I'm pushing it yet. I think I'd rather wait. So she's saying Song Yadong if he beats O'Malley. Is that fight booked?
I didn't think it was official, but if they fight and
yeah, I'm reporting most likely we have Merab Dvalishvili too. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Most likely, this is if we are running it. I'm giving Batista the title shot if he pulls up the upset. I don't know if I want to do Umar Net. I feel like that is the best, in the division, probably the best fight. He gave Merab the best chance. I feel like he's the guy that you could make the strongest argument, could make adjustments and win that fight. But I feel like I'd want to build that up a little bit. So to me, option one, like if yes, go here. If no, go there. I'm going to go Batista. If no, he doesn't win, I'm going outside the division. I'm calling up Pantoja and be like, dude, I know you keep saying you don't want it, but this is how legends are made, brother. Do the unthinkable, move up. I'll even keep. We're not stripping the belt. You keep flyweight. You always come back to flyweight 3 months from now, 6 months from now, defend the title. And I love my man Josh Van. I'm putting Josh Van on the sidelines. I'm putting Pantoja. Pantoja co-main event of like the December card, big fight card in December versus Merab.
I like it.
Sandhagen. I'm gonna go with the guy we just talked about. Sean O'Malley's been calling for fights with Sandhagen, some kind of beef there. I think that fight would be spectacular. I think the build-up, I think the talk would be. I think that should be third from the top on a big pay-per-view. Maybe even on that one in December. Give me Sandhagen versus O'Malley.
I said on the preview, if we get to the end of this thing without seeing Sandhagen versus O'Malley, I will break something tasteful. So yeah, give it to me sooner rather than later. Like Sandhagen, nothing I saw tonight leads me to believe that he is not fighting the best he ever has. Like that probably is the best Sandhagen we've seen. Like, yeah, like he should stay in the title picture.
All right, we're already almost an hour in. We only covered 2 fights, so we got to pick up the pace. Pretty bad considering one fight was 80 seconds. Third from the top, Yuri Prochazka took on Claire Roundtree. Yuri looked terrible early, the worst I ever seen him. I mean, he was slow. His legs they mentioned his legs kept slipping. He seemed awkward. I thought he had like an injury or maybe Khalil hurt him. Khalil never looked better. He was cooking him. He was beating him. He was fast. He was countering everything. It was our consensus upset pick. We were looking really good on another consensus upset pick. What I liked about it is not only that we pick it, but we were picking it how it was going. That's the big thing. And then Yuri's like, oh, yeah, I'm the guy who is the light heavyweight version of Justin Gaethje. I'm going to get in the pocket. I'm going to throw down. I'm going to make some weird shit happen, and I'm going to knock you dead. And that's what happened. Like, what an incredible comeback. It was one, like, I feel like what I saw tonight, when I think of Yuri Prochazka, I won't think about him winning a title. I'll think of like these kind of moments. Like 10 years from now, I'll think about this.
I hate to do this to you, but this was not a consensus pick. This was the only fight on this card we disagreed on.
Oh, shit. I forgot that I picked Yuri and you picked Roundtree. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Why did I think we want consensus on this? I'm sorry. So you picked Yuri. Nice job.
Well, I'll say this. If I had a theme for the whole night, my theme for the whole night would be, yeah, he won, but I'm not sure I feel better about him. I can say that about a lot of people who won on this card. Yuri's one of them. All he proved to me tonight was he is the most Yuri Prochazka fighter in the entire sport. Yeah. Like, he's a giant Justin Gaethje, and just like Justin Gaethje, yeah, he won tonight, but he probably made the fight harder than it needed to be for himself.
Sure.
Like, yeah, he won a fight that he was about to lose, but that's only because he was losing a fight that he probably should have won. Like, it's He's Yuri Prochazka, and we're blessed to have him. We are incredibly fortunate to be in that timeline where he actually made it to a UFC title, but only at light heavyweight does a dude this insane actually
It's funny.
Make it into the title picture and stay there.
For a guy that hits as hard as him, it's pretty ironic that the way he won the light heavyweight title was anything but Yuri Prochazka. Now the fight was obviously bonkers and back and forth and crazy, but I mean, like getting a submission.
You mean the no hooks rear naked choke on one of the best grapplers in the division?
Yeah, like that's not how Yuri wins. Yuri, you know what he also reminds me of? Like we mentioned Justin Gaethje. He's got a lot of Dricus Duplessis in him. And what I mean by that is when you watch him fight, you also go, yeah, that's not going to work again. And then it does. And then you watch it, like, yeah, but like this time it's not going to work. And then it does.
And it does.
Yep. It's just like, it's like, oh yeah, he just has this ability to get these kind of fights and then winning. I want to go back. I want to bring back a name that you didn't expect to hear on this broadcast. I would rip this dude so many freaking times in the chat. We have a Sherdog chat. Remember Lev, our boy Lev in his top 10.
Absolutely.
I would get into him so hard in his top 10 rankings of different categories to the point where I had to like excuse myself from voting on his categories because I was just like, dude, I can't put my name on some of your takes. It was so bad. I will give him credit. He was on the Yuri is the hardest hitter in MMA, the best knockout artist. He was on it before anybody, and I was just like, number one, number 10. Like, I don't know if I put him in my top 10. Yeah, I was wrong. That boy was right. He just touches it. He knocks everybody out.
Mm-hmm. And
he might be the best ever at pure knockouts.
And the wildness serves him because, I mean, anybody who's watched a lot of fights or had even a few will tell you the hardest blow is the one that you don't see coming, and literally everything he throws comes from unexpected angles.
Yeah.
Like they were asking, you know, like the booth was talking about it at the end of the fight. Like, how do you train your fighter to fight Yuri Prochazka? Like how do you simulate him? I'm like, you put him in a wind tunnel and you have somebody just start throwing hockey sticks and baseball bats at him. Like,
yeah. Put him in a big like giant like bag, like a Santa Claus or a trash bag, and throw that on his head, and then just have the entire gym start punching him from different angles. You know,
like some sort of like biker gang initiation. It's like how you train for.
That's how you train for Yuri Prochazka. Get jumped by a biker gang while blindfolded.
Like your coach orders the code red. Like. In A Few Good Men. That's how you train.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's a good one. One of my all-time favorite movies. So I already said Prochazka. I'm putting him against Ankalaev. I think put those guys like third from the top of a pay-per-view. That's obviously with me having Alex Pereira fight in Allberg if he stays in the division. So Alex Pereira stays in the division. I'm giving him Ankalaev. What was it? That's what you had too, right?
Yes. Yep.
All right, Roundtree. Roundtree was doing well. Everything he looked the best he ever looked.
And yep. Roundtree was looking great. Like, here's the thing. Yeah, Prochazka ended up winning, but we've never seen Prochazka look as hesitant as he looked halfway through that fight. Like, he did not like the hand speed. He did not like the composed counters. He did not like the power. Like, that's like, we've seen Prochazka lose. We've seen him lose bad. We've seen him get knocked out. I've never seen Prochazka look worried he was going to get knocked out, and he looked worried in the middle of that fight. Yeah, Roundtree, kind of like Sandhagen. He lost, but he's at least who I thought he was, if not better. Assuming that it happens like we play out. We think it's going to play out. In a couple weeks, Azamat Murzakanov is fighting Alexander Rakic. He's going to be a massive favorite. If he wins, he is still undefeated. The last 6 of them in the UFC. Like, he would be more prominence in the discussion of title shots if he didn't make Magomed Ankalaev look like Sean O'Malley in terms of marketability. Like,
Sure.
on top of being another Russian dude who doesn't speak any English, he's also kind of short and dumpy. Like, but you can't ignore him forever. If not, like, maybe Bogdan Guskov, he's come out of nowhere and won like 4 or 5 in a row. It becomes more about what he's earned, just because Roundtree has kind of hit the ceiling a few times.
Yeah, I don't mind that fight. That's actually a good call. I came up with Johnny Walker. Just the two guys haven't fought each other. It'd be a good chance to get a knockout. I put that like a main event of a fight night or something. All right.
And
even
how many times is there going to be a Johnny Walker fight where my analysis goes, if somebody wins in the first round, it's probably the other guy. If it goes past the first round, I like Johnny Walker better. Like,
no, I don't know.
I never thought I'd say that, but Roundtree's durability is becoming a question.
Speaking of first rounds, Josh Emmitt took on Yusuf Zalal, and Yusuf Zalal has continued to have one of the greatest resurgence as he has won again. It was around 80 seconds. It was about the same amount of time as Alex Pereira was tonight. I don't know who was quicker, but such a slick performance on the ground from Yusuf Zalal. Immediately took Josh Emmitt down, took his back, transitions of different submissions, went from a triangle, eventually finished it with an armbar where Josh Emmitt verbally tapped. What I loved about this is Yusuf went for it, put himself in a compromised position. Because think about this. You're underneath Josh Emmitt going for an armbar. He gets his arm out. That's a scary dude throwing punches on your head that, you put yourself, you go for these submissions, you kind of tend to be out of position. He took the chance and it paid off. I mean, he looked incredible tonight. And he's still young.
He's young, and again, he's making it look easy, and he's flexing one of the more well-rounded skill sets in that whole division right now. I thought his wrestling was underrated his first time through the UFC.
Sure,
but
me too.
If you told me that like this like skinny grinning Moroccan dude was just gonna start wrecking top 10 contenders with his wrestling, I would have said you were crazy. Like, he has all the skills, and more importantly, or more rarely, he has the ability, like the training, the instincts to know when to go to which part of his game. Like, that's
he's very good at winning, having a winning strategy. How far do you think he can go? Do you think he could?
I think he's going to fight for a title.
I agree. I think he might win a title.
I mean, we've seen him fight Ilia Topuria long enough ago that it's not really relevant to who either of them are right now. I'm not picking anyone over Ilia at 145, but Zalal has quietly become one of the people I'd be more interested to see get another chance if he ever comes back.
Ilia's out of the division now.
Yeah, so I'm saying if he ever comes back.
Oh,
I get you. That's how good like Zalal is. Yeah. I think Zalal's going to fight for a title, and depending on who's against him, I might favor him to win it, dude.
Yeah, and Jordan Lane mentions that it's a really long line. It is, but the one good thing is, some of the guys ranked ahead of him, as long as Alex Volkanovski is the champion, aren't going to get title shots again, or probably won't likely anytime soon. I'm talking Yaya Rodriguez, Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega. Not that I don't think Ortega can make that weight anyways, but those guys are ahead. So obviously there's still who am I forgetting? There's Lerone Murphy ahead of him. There's Aljamain Sterling. There's somebody else I'm forgetting.
Movsar Evloev.
Oh, Evloev, yeah, Evloev. Obviously, he's out so long, I keep forgetting, but yeah, he's undefeated. So there's like 3 guys clearly ahead of him, but he's still young.
Yeah,
and he's a tough matchup. Our man Anton Willis asked earlier, is do we see Josh Emmett fight again? Do you think this is the last feature to see Josh Emmett? I think he's give it one more crack.
I think we see him one more time. I was half expecting him to retire in the cage tonight, but
Yeah, it would have been a good time. Like, what's the point? He's 40 years old. All right, real quick. Give me a name for Josh Emmett if he fights again. So he says, "Ben, I want to fight one more time." Who are you giving him?
The winner of Steve Garcia and David Onama in a couple weeks. Like, it's just going to be about giving him a hot prospect that can make some hay off
you
his
got to
name.
build. Yeah, I like that. Like building the prospect up. That's kind of what you have to do with Emmett at this point. Be the test. Zalal, he's continued to rise up. I'm gonna go real high.
So am I.
I'm giving him a main event of a fight night, but I don't want it to be an Apex. I want it to be in an arena somewhere. Be it, say, I don't know. Let's go like somewhere like Long Island, or New Jersey, maybe Brooklyn. Like, give me one of those. You know why I'm saying that area?
Why?
Because I'm giving Aljamain Sterling, who's from that area.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I was going at least that high in terms of divisional ranking. I was just saying, okay, if Murphy or Evloev is probably next for a title shot, I'm probably giving Zalal the other guy.
Okay, so you're right. So we're right there.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with Aljo as well. I mean, I'd be fine with that just as a fight. Like hell.
Yeah. I remember probably saying Aljo would kill Emmitt. I'm not talking about. We're talking about Yusuf Zalal.
Oh, we're talking about for Zalal. Oh, good grief.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. The opening fight of the main card, Joe Pyfer took on Abus Magomed, with Pyfer winning by second round TKO. This was a pretty
for the night. He won, but I'm not sure I feel better about him.
You know what's funny?
What?
I'm going to take the complete opposite perspective.
Hit me. What do you got?
I'll tell you why. There was definitely bad moments in that fight. What I like that he faced some adversity and he didn't panic. He was in some tough situations, found a way to get out and win the fight. I view him as a title, maybe because of the state where I had him was pretty low compared to how public viewed Joe Pyfer, that I give him a little bump up. Like, I could see him be a top 15 guy, but before I wasn't sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I guess I'm only down on Pyfer in the sense of him being a future contender. He just, to me, he doesn't seem to be, if he's improving, it's really gradual, because he just still comes in every fight like a hammer in search of a nail. If he gets something other than what he's expecting, like, he really seems to struggle. And on top of that, his durability and his grit are second to none, but he's not a guy I really trust to take over fights. Like he's never going to be a Merab type where, oh, I don't care what the score is after the first 2 rounds if both guys are still alive. You know what I mean? Like, too many 185ers watched what Abus Magomedov did and were like, oh, give me that guy.
Sure. So I think that what I liked about him, that he tired him out with his wrestling. Even though he lost the wrestling in the first round, I still think he had the right game plan, because and I know the chat is talking about it. Mr. C mentioned Abus is the Terrence McKinney of middleweight, and I think what he means by that is, I've said this before about him, that I think he's a front runner. I think he's a more talented fighter than when I said that before about him. But he's still a front runner. As soon as this thing started going, the tide started turning, he found a way to get out of there. Ninja Kitty with a good comment. Keith, the fan of body cam off. I'm a detective. I don't have to wear body cam, but nice try. Yeah. Let's matchmake Joe Pyfer then.
Okay, this was easy for me.
To me, he's making the slow descent. I'm going to keep giving it to him. So let's hear. You said one's easy for you. Who do you give him?
I'm giving both these guys the winner and loser respectively of Junyoung Park and Ikram Alaskarov in a couple weeks.
Okay. I'm going to give him somebody who's a bigger name than those guys, but maybe not a bigger test. I'm giving him Jared Cannonier.
I like that matchup.
Magomed Ankalaev. I'm just giving him any matchup. Kyle Dawkins.
Sure.
I don't like whatever. Like I'm throwing back to like mid card. What'd you have for him?
Again, just the loser of Park versus Alaskarov.
Oh yeah, you said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. All right, so that was the main card. Let's get to the prelims. We'll go to these a little faster. This one, what was it, like 45 seconds? I don't know how quick it was, but it was super fast. Thibaut Gauthier took on very short notice. We didn't even get to preview him. He came in huge balls by having to take on Gauthier on short. You got a full camp, short notice. Either way, you have to have some big balls to take on.
And you're stepping up to replace a dude that was like plus 750.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm speaking of Tristan Vines. This is all about Goodyear. I mean, the guy's an absolute freak of nature.
Yeah,
But we have watched, I don't know, thousands and thousands of fights. I can honestly say this. I've watched every single UFC fight of all time. Even when I miss a week, I have to that's like my rule. Like I got to keep my streak going. Have you ever seen someone hit a crossface and put the guy right on his back with it?
No, I haven't. That's just, I'm struggling not to be too disrespectful, because here's the thing, like Tristan Vines is a decent regional middleweight who probably would have cropped up on the Contender Series, like within the next 12 months. Like he's not a bad fighter, but he looked like somebody that had not fought before. And that's nothing to do with skill, and that's everything to do with the moment. And holy shit, I'm not ready for this.
I've been around in wrestling for a very long time, and I'm trying to remember the last time I saw someone get crossface right to their back in a double. And I'm like, well, people it's kind of like a pancake, but a pancake could catch the momentum coming in. But to actually go from a crossface right to the ground, I'm like, I don't know if Kyle Dake could do that to a high school, like a halfway decent high school wrestler.
No, it was like somebody wrestling with a 6-year-old kid. He flung him, could have flung him across the room.
Yeah, my son, I wrestle my son, he'll at least hold onto my leg when I had to give him that crossface. Like eventually I think I could get him over like that, but I wonder what they're gonna do with him. You think they're gonna slow roll him and do what they should do, or do you think he's just gonna this guy?
I think they're gonna slow roll him, because one, he's young, 2, he has 10 career fights, and he is still super raw. Like, you ask me, my gut feeling is he'll lose one of his next 4 or 5 fights. He'll run into somebody that is less skilled, less talented, more experienced. He'll have a bad night, or just something will go wrong, and he won't have the wherewithal to make changes between rounds. Just no, seriously, like a Jun Yong Park is gonna sneak up on him.
Yeah,
a guy that he would kill 2 years from now.
Yeah,
and that's without the UFC slow rolling him.
You know, he reminds me.
I mean, that's right. That's with the UFC slow rolling him.
I mean, his athleticism was incredible. He just touches people, and it's like it's over. He just touches you, it's over. His power is unmatched in the division. And I mean, the
comparison is easy to make because they're both from the same country, but it is a bit like middleweight Francis Ngannou.
Dude, that's the name I had. I said it's super lazy to do it, like African guy, but it's that's who he is. Mm-hmm. I'm probably giving him a step up too much, but I just want to see this fight. I'm giving him a share of bullet.
Dude, if Shara Bullet took that fight, I would have to revise a lot of the things that I'm thinking about him in my head right now. Because my gut says Shara Bullet doesn't want that.
The funny thing is, it's a huge step up in competition, but it might be an easier stylistic matchup for him than guys 20, 30 spots down in the rankings from Shara Bullet.
I'd rather him fight. If I'm his handlers, I'd rather him fight Shara Bullet than have him fight Marvin Vettori, who's on like a 3-fight losing streak right now.
Oh, I'm talking about I'm not talking about like main event guys. I'm talking about the middle tier guys. the guy who could take him down, hold him down, or somebody who's just going to pressure him, and maybe they can get past that first flurry and still be around and make it a tough fight. Anyways, let's move on. Before that, Joe Sang Yu took on Daniel Santos. I got to mention this. Santos win by second round TKO. Santos missed weight, and he missed weight bad. They had to be changed catch weight fight at I think it was 153.
It was bad.
He missed by 7 pounds. And it's funny is you look at these two guys and you see them fighting, you're like, well, who's the guy that missed weight? And you see one guy just so much bigger than the other, and you think you was the guy who missed weight.
Nope. Santos.
You was doing really well, was landing at will, was won the first round, was like it's gonna be the same stuff, but they kept talking about him. He was dropping his hands. He does that like Sean O'Malley where he slip in just out of the range. Well, you back straight up and pull your head back when you do that. Sometimes you have nowhere to go. Guy throws one more extra punch and he catches you, and that's exactly what happened. Like, I want to say good for Santos, but like missing weight that bad, can you even like give him any credit?
It's hard to, and it's a shame because it really gives us something to talk about other than his best career win.
Yeah, that's true. It should be like his big moment. And you know what I hate is that he does the post fight. He does this big thing. He's going about shootbox and best this and best that. And it's like, dude, you missed weight by that way. Like at least apologize for that. At least seem like you have like a sense.
Yeah. So I again, my theme for the night. He won, but I'm not sure I feel better about him.
Yeah.
It's held true for like half the winners so far for this guy who, he looked incredible. He beat a guy that I never called it, but I might have called him my lock of the card. Even though,
Santos, I agree. He's very talented. I'm forcing him up to lightweight. You can't miss by that much. His next fight's lightweight. I'm giving him Michael Johnson.
I like that just fine. If he stays at 145, I was going to give him Jack Jenkins, who just won a week ago, and
that'd be a fun scrap. The problem,
and again, that's more about what Jenkins deserves, and Santos is on like a 5-fight win streak now.
I don't know if Santos deserves it because he's not going to make weight again. You don't miss by that much. And you know what the funny thing is? You push him with 155, he'll probably be even less disciplined and he'll miss that weight too.
Oh, so he's gonna gastel him this shit?
Yeah, how many times have we seen that? Before that, Patrick Mix took on Jacob Vikwacz, and Vikwacz winning a split decision. Before we get into the performances, do you agree with the decision?
No, I scored it for Mix.
Okay. So I didn't. I scored it for Vikwacz. Obviously, it comes down to the second round. It was really, really close. I didn't check MMA decisions. I'm checking it on the fly to see if I'm I think I'm in the minority, but how big? Not too big. It's 5 votes for Vikwacz with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 for Patchy Mix. So like 2/3 going, almost 3, maybe almost 3/4. But right away, Dane Fox, he does not score. Knock that scorecard out. Sean Sheehan, he does not score. Knock that scorecard out. So it should be closer. But okay, I'm assuming came down the second round.
Yeah.
Even if you think Mix, I know some people say Mix got robbed and I don't think that, but he's still not a robbery. He's still a big shit. Dude,
he looked again. Yeah, I was thinking that at the end of the first round, like win or lose, he looks terrible. Like if you told me category, if you told me that Jakob Vikwacz was going to jump a guillotine within the first 60 seconds of each round, I'd be thinking, oh, so 30-26 Mix, huh? He really got back on track.
Oh yeah.
Nope. Vikwacz beat Mix in Mix's supposed wheelhouse.
Yeah, when he jumped guillotine the first time and Nick's popped, it was the first one wasn't that close, and he pops his head out and he almost stepped right over the guard into mount. I was thinking, oh god, this is going to be bad quickly, and Mix is going to sub him real quick, and he'll prove that not that Batista was a fluke, but that he's a better fighter than he was. It is the opposite. I forgot who I was talking to on Twitter. He said, like, I said, oh, he looks so slow. And then he responded and says lethargic. And I'm like, that's such a great explanation. He looked like he got old overnight.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like since he and Tatiana Suarez got together, he's picked up Tatiana Suarez's head movement, but she's had like spinal fusion surgery.
Yeah, he's flat-footed. He's not moving his head. He's so hittable. His kicks are gone. He had like Ninja Kitty says sluggish. I think that's another good comparison. To me, like I said, he looked like he got old overnight, and he's 32. Yeah. But not every 32. Some people, like we've seen people be 32 and be done, and you're like, oh man, how did that guy decline so quickly?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking he's in that category. And think about it. It wasn't that long ago. People were thinking he was the best bantamweight in the world. He was the guy in Bellator. He was the guy recently in Bellator where people like, maybe the UFC doesn't have the best guy in the division.
Completely agreed. I'm one of the people that would have made a case for. Yeah.
And Nemkov. Nemkov was another guy, people. But yeah.
Yeah.
Good. You said you're one of the guys who'd make the case for it.
I was one of the guys that would have made the case for it. Would have made the case that, Mix versus Aljo, Mix versus Jan, Mix versus Merab is the best fight that could be made between a UFC and non-UFC fighter right now, even more so than some of like PFL's like welterweight killers. Like, and
yeah, it wasn't that long ago. He was in the Bellator Grand Prix, and he had this incredible run, and how deep that division was, and how deep that tournament was, and he looked spectacular through the whole thing. And to go from that, and I think we're taking a little too much away from Vic Laus. He had some really fun moments, but and again, I scored a Vic Laus. Some people still think Mix won. Even if Mix wins, it's not a good win for him.
Even if he won, you know me, like I'm pretty slow to jump off fighters' bandwagons. I try not to be an overreactor in the moment, but even if he had won tonight, I'd be like, sell. He looks terrible, and the best thing I can compare it to is when Ben Askren got to the UFC. And obviously it was different. Askren was like 5 years older. He'd been functionally retired for a year, but just where even in the fight he quote unquote won, he looked terrible. Like, and just his athleticism and striking looked so miserable. Like, just
he was also in fairness to him, he was dealing with a lot of injuries. He had back injuries and he had hip replacements, and obviously now he's had much worse. But I think his body failed him. You mentioned Sherdog mentioned Will Brooks, like how much of a decline he had when he first came to UFC. I think that's a really comparison where Will Brooks was like, oh man, this guy could be an issue in the division, to something like
this guy that beat Michael Chandler twice, no controversy.
Yeah.
And
watching Vic Laus, and he's got that incredible guillotine. He almost caught Patchy. I think that would have been incredible to catch Patchy. I'm watching that. I'm like, he's going to sub a lot of guys. But then I was also thinking to myself, but he's also going to lose to people he shouldn't, because he jumps guillotines and misses it, puts himself stuck on bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't think either guy looked good. Let's matchmake. So Vic Laus, obviously he beat a big name in Patchy Mix. To me, I feel like he's former champion in another organization in KSW, like a good one. Bryce Mitchell, to me, like he's got to get a name.
I wasn't even going that high, but I was sort of thinking of the same kind of vibe. I was giving him Victor Henry.
Okay. Patchy Mix, like I'm keeping. I just people saying cut him. I'm keeping him, but I'm tossing him on the early prelims. Like,
same.
Brady Heastan.
I
don't know.
Like Mix is going on the prelims again, and I'm not pitching him easy. he's got to win this fight or he's probably cutting. I'm giving him someone like Alatang Haley or even Damon Blackshear.
I think Blackshear would be a real problem for him right now.
I think Blackshear would be a problem for him too, but like
Haley
at this point, it's not. Him out. He might. Or Mix might finally show us a flash of what he was supposed to have, but it's put up or shut up time for sure. And shout out to all the people that said maybe Mix should think about moving up to 145. I don't hate that. He's a big 135er. Moving up, maybe he has a little more energy because of less water cut. He looks less slow compared to the people he's against. It certainly couldn't go much worse.
Yeah, people saying like how slow he was, he should move up to 145. He might want to move up to heavyweight. How slow is he is? I don't know. He might move up to the second floor of like a business and work a reception or something because he looks. I mean, holy Christ! Lazy Bet says bingo 145. I don't know if he's quick enough to call out those balls right now. Obviously, he's saying bingo, just joking. But I've seen Patchy Max fight in person so many times because obviously Bellator was in Mohegan Sun in my backyard so much. So I want him to do well, but which leads to our segment, the time where we take a break from MMA and we get to know your hosts. We're already an hour and a half in, so we got to speed this up a little bit. But Ben has a very interesting question. Ben, what is your question?
Okay, you and I have both been fans of the sport for a very long time. We've both been in the business in some capacity for several years. Hell, we've been doing this together for over 5 now. Tell me one or one or two memorable interactions that you've had with fighters or other combat sports industry figures, and avoid structured interviews.
Okay.
Just kind of in person, like ran into or knew or whatever. Yeah, just whatever you got. And I'll go first. You can go first, whatever you want.
All right, guy, you can go first.
Okay, I've got 2. I've got one that's kind of humorous, one that guys might find insightful. I'll give the insightful one first, and shout out to Sherdog associate editor Jay Petrie for reminding me of this one last week. But he and I covered UFC 247 live, speaking of 5 years ago, here in Houston. Jones versus Dominic Reyes, obviously the fight that we've talked about a lot recently, the closest Jones has come to losing, in a real fight ever.
Yeah.
In the media room afterwards, Reyes and a couple of his kind of people, his entourage, came through. And for those of you that have never worked in this business, there's the press row around the cage, and then there's a media room somewhere in the bowels of the stadium where the fights are up on screens. Fighters come down to be interviewed after their fights. It's just people from every outlet you can think of down there. And sometime around the time the main card starts, the UFC's people will bring down just boxes of pizza or dinner or whatever for the media people. Reyes and his people come through. He's arguably been robbed of a decision win over maybe the greatest fighter of all time. He was in such a good mood. They came through, good mood. He talked about the decision. He was like, I'll need to watch it again. In the moment, I feel like I won it, but everyone says that. I'll watch it. But he was so happy, and he and his crew, they had some pizza with us. I think his people took 2 or 3 pizzas back to the hotel room, which is fine because they always bring 12 pizzas for 15 people. But in hindsight, it's so clearly a guy that had just come off the best night of his life. He's like, I just proved that I can hang with the greatest fighter of all time. I'm probably going to get to fight him again sometime soon. I bet I can beat him that time. The world is my oyster. My best days are ahead of me. And he had such a hard couple of years after that. It just, to be reminded of that last week, just kind of hit me. I'm like, that's right. I remember that. So that was a really interesting night, just seeing that and then knowing what would play out over the next 5 years. The other one I'll throw out is the time that ESPN personality and now longtime UFC and Dana White's Contender Series correspondent Dan Hellie complained about the pretzels at my house. So I was probably 13. He was probably 12. We were having a sleepover.
I love that you and Dan Hellie were friends. I love it.
And, we're sitting on the couch. definitely would have been watching sports. Like our whole thing was we're watching basketball, football, baseball, whatever's on. And he has a bowl of pretzels and he tries some pretzels and he goes, Ben, these pretzels are disgusting. And sure enough, like my dad was on like some special low sodium diet and there were these salt-free pretzels and they were in fact disgusting, but you can't really salt pretzels out of the bag. So yeah, Dan Helly could complain about the pretzels at my house. He was dead right. Yeah, he and I grew up together, like same town, not the same high school, but we went to the same church, like same Boy Scout troop for as long as we both went and did it. Like, yeah, he and I knew each other growing up. Thing I will say about Dan is, of all the people I've known in my life, like well enough to know this about them, he is the person that knew earliest what he wanted to do with his life and did it.
That's cool.
Like,
really cool.
Out of school, he went straight to University of Tennessee, specifically because of their broadcast journalism thing. We fell out of touch for a few years. Next thing I knew, he was kind of like on like ESPN 11 or whatever their bottom tier channel was, like doing some college football stuff. And in the 25 years since then, he's worked his way up to where we ended up back in the same industry. And I think it was UFC 262 a couple years ago. He came down here. I covered it. We got a picture together and like sent it to our moms, and I'm sure they both cried. It was great. But anyway, yeah, those are two memorable interactions with combat sports people.
Yeah, I wrote notes next to him. I'm like, which story do I want to tell? I have so many good stories.
Dude, it's why I thought of this one, because so many of your stories are good.
My one of my favorites is the inside joke between me and Nolan King, where Yaroslav Emmitt, who was fighting for Bellator, eventually becomes the champion, becomes one of the biggest stars in the organization. We were walking around Mohegan Sun, but he's fighting that week, and everywhere we turned, he was there. Mohegan Sun's a big ass casino, and we'd go to to a restaurant, he'd be there. We'd go to the hallway, there he was. I remember in the middle of the night, he just fought. I go to the bathroom. I'm taking a leak, and right next to me in the yard, I turn my head. There's Amazon. I'm like, what? But my favorite part is we've been joking around all week, and we're waiting, and there's like a main line where all the people go in, like fans to go in, and then there's like a media line where we line up, and we're joking, and we're like, yeah, we do. Someone would tell someone about always seeing Amosov, and we're joking. All of a sudden, I look over to the line right next there, and he's waiting in line with the fans to get in. He's fighting on the card. I'm like, he doesn't speak English. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just waiting in line. I'm like, this guy's everywhere. So shout out to Nolan King. It was and then we just kept making like memes and shit of like Amazon in the most random places in history. Like there'd be like Trump's inauguration. We put like Amazon in the background and shit. I remember I played a joke on Paul Daly, because now Paul Daly is, when it's me, you never know, he's like the coolest guy ever. He's a dick. Well, he was being the coolest guy ever that week, and he was fighting Michael Page, and it was like a very intense portion. But Michael Page already like weighed in, and Paul Daly was lining up. There was like people in front of him, and I'm standing next to him, and I'm joking, and I'm like, oh, dude, I feel so bad for you. Like, I can't believe you missed weight. And he's like, what? And they're like freaking out. I was like, he missed weight. The whole team was like, what? He missed weight? And I'm like, I'm just fucking with you guys. I remember this. I interviewed Ryan Bader like during the week, and then there's like this. I mean, like I said, Mohegan Sun is huge, but I'm hanging out. I used to always do this work at like these couches and like when I was posting articles or posting videos. I used to always hang in the like lobby area, and all of a sudden Ryan Bader just sat down right next to me, just said like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Started talking to me like we were homies. I was like, oh shit, like
all right.
Like me and Ryan Bader are homies. I'll always remember Chet Congo flipping out on the media and being like, he was mad. He's like, oh, I'm not talking about this. But then he goes, but you're cool, points at me. I don't know why. He goes, you're cool. Then he left. He walked off, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. You just got to find that one. Chet Congo was all pissed off. Doesn't want to talk to me, but he told me I was cool. I remember me and Nolan King again. A lot of my stories, Nolan, because obviously he's from New England too. I remember we were in line. It was it was late night after a local show. I don't think it was a Bellator. I think it was like a I think it was like a CS. Yeah, it was CS. I think we're in Lincoln at a CS, and we go to like a KFC inside it, something late. We're eating shit food, and in line in front of us, and it was a pizza place, was Manny Bermudez, who's like chowing down on a pizza. We're like, does he have a fight like 3 weeks from now? And then he missed weight. And it's Manny Bermudez, and he always missed weight.
Fucking hell.
I remember when I was really young, I was about 21 years old. Shoney Carter taught me how to play blackjack. And I walked up and I'm like, holy shit, Shoney Carter. And this is like, and he's like, hey, what's up? And you play blackjack. And I'm like, oh. And he starts teaching me how to play. I remember the same, it was a PFL show. I got stuck in like the Gracie train with Ian Gracie and Henzo and Hajer and all these people. I was in the middle. It was like all these Brazilians jumping around and me with my arms around them. I was just a fan. I was in the media. I was just jumping up and down. And I remember all of them like looking like probably like they're like hugging me. They're all sweating because Henzo just fought Carlos Newton, and they're all chanting. And I bet you everyone probably looking at me like, who's this fucking crazy friend of Hyan's? So those are some of my. I'll give you. I'll give you three more real quick, very, 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 very quick ones, but yeah. I can't give you the names.
Okay.
All right. These names, but I'll give it to the listeners. I was at Media Row, and I get there early, and I always look. Me and Nolan King would look, and sometimes they wouldn't have us sit next to each other, so we'd like rip a sticker off and just change it. So I get in line, and some guy's like, I didn't recognize the person next to me, and I look behind me, and it says a former female fighter who's now working media. And I'm like, oh yeah, I switched the people's stickers. So that former, I almost said her name. Anyway, she sits next to me, and we talk the entire night to the point where it's like almost flirty. And I'm like, is this person flirting with me? To the point like asking, oh, you going home? You staying in a hotel? And I'm like, can I shag former? Dude, I'm not saying the name. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know who this is, and
I mean,
she might be on my Mount Rushmore of just consider the whole package.
I'm not saying
good looking, charming, whole package.
Yeah, I'm not
accomplished as a fighter.
Yes, yeah. I am not saying I'm a good looking man, or I probably was over exaggerating, but I'm a happily married man, so I did not take up the offer. But yeah, she seemed like she was ready to party that night. Similar, it might have been the same weekend. I'm interviewing a fighter, and I'm taking down my equipment, and the fighter's wife is over here, and I start talking, just chatting. Don't think anything of it. I hang out, but we chat for a while. It's like I'm there for like a week. The next day, a female, I feel like someone like touching the back of my neck, and I look over, and it's her. Like kind of flirting, like, hey, what's going on? But she's all by herself. We talk for a second. I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I tell Nolan King about it. And he's like, and then like the next day, right in front of Nolan King, he does again, and he's like, holy fuck. Mind you, this is a heavyweight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. This is a heavyweight in Bellator's wife who he didn't wrestle people. He knocked people into next week. I won't mention his name. All right. But my favorite one is when I'm doing an interview with somebody, and we'll say this one you could probably figure out. A father-son combo. I'm interviewing the father, and in the middle of the interview, he's like, oh yeah, my son would do much better if he laid off the cocaine. It says right in the middle of the interview. And I left it out because I didn't feel right to just put that in there. I'm like, if I was a scumbag reporter, I'd put that in there. I took it out. Anyway, so this is some fun. There's probably other ones. Those ones I thought off the top of my head. So, all right, let's get back to the fun stuff. Let's get to the rest of the fights. Emmitt Shabazian knocked out Andre Muniz in the very first round. Let me ask you this question. Did Shabazian look good, or did Muniz look bad?
If you're still in the chat and you've been with me all night, say it with me. He might have won, but I don't feel better about him.
Yeah, I think this has more about Muniz.
I completely agree.
I don't
Muniz looks like a dehydrated heavyweight and shot.
I don't think he can take a punch anymore.
Maybe he could if he had 20 more pounds of water sloshing around his skull.
What I will say is Shabazz is only 27, so it's still a good quality win. When you go against a shot fighter, you should do this to him.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel better about Shabazian than I did a couple of years ago, but I'm not sold on him. I mean, what do you want to do with him next?
Shabazian, pretty sure I had something here.
I'll give you one. I'm giving him a big step up in name. I mean, he's on the 3-fight winning streak. I'm giving Kelvin Gastelum.
I like that just fine. Like,
all right, let's move on. Probably the most boring fight of the night. Puna Soriano took on Nikolai
Veretennikov
with Soriano winning by unanimous decision. I was watching this fight and I kept thinking the same thing. The easiest route to victory for Soriano is to wrestle. But on the flip side, it's also the easiest avenue to gas himself out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he was like there was like very thin line he had to walk. Luckily for him, he was able to walk it well enough. What do you have to say about this fight?
I'm still cautiously optimistic about the Puna Soriano at 170 experiment. This might have been just a slightly flat night at the office, and we are giving him shit about a fight where he clearly won all 3 rounds. So
yeah,
take that for what it's worth. But I'd also say that this is probably the best Veretennikov has looked. It's the first time that he looked like he actually belonged in the UFC against the UFC level welterweight. And that may not be a good comment about Veretennikov so much as something against Soriano. Like this was a lot harder than I think than it needed to be.
Yeah, he's so bad. He's so bad. I can't say his name. His get-up game.
I don't think you'll need to worry about it.
Yeah, his get-up game is so like, even though he's a low-level UFC fighter, like, you gotta have some kind of get-up game to be held down for pretty much the entire fight. That's really bad. Soriano's on a winning streak. He's 3-0 now at welterweight. I'm giving him Sam Patterson. I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think that'd be 2 guys on winning streaks. Different clash of styles, different clash of bodies.
Anytime somebody moves down in weight, it's always fun to mess with them and give them the biggest person you can possibly find in their new division. So I'm all for that. Yeah. Ninja Kitty, it's pronounced very cut now.
Very cut. Ninja Kitty kills it. Before that, Macy Shazan take on Yana Santos. Santos winning by unanimous decision. Another one of our consensus underdog picks. Our consensus underdog picks. 2 out of 3. So not bad.
2 out of 2. We only had 2 and we nailed them both.
I thought we both took you.
Oh, but that's right. And you was the slight underdog. Never mind. Yeah, 2 for 3.
Yeah, but we all, in fairness, when we made the pick, we were expecting Santos to cut another 7 pounds or whatever it was. So, but what I liked about it, we called this one perfectly. Like, not just that we picked the winner, but how it was going to go. That Santos was going to win the clinch battle. She was going to land knees inside. It was going to be a very close fight. We both agree with that. To me, it came down to how you good.
For once, like, Macy Chasson, like the biggest woman in the division, actually did her best work from outside. Like, the best job she did was just like tagging Santos with kind of wild swings from outside, which is not normally her thing. She's normally the female Tim Means, just be tall and get on the inside type. So it was interesting, but
yeah, the problem is she is the female version of Tim Means because she weighed like 170 pounds tonight. She missed weight. She also missed weight. She only missed by 2 pounds, but still, she's got a long history of missing weight. This fight was close. Came down here to go to the second round. The first round was awesome for Santos. The third round was awesome for Chasson. Chasson made a little push at the end of the second round, but to me, Santos had enough in the bank. I scored it for her.
Yeah, to me, it was a pretty straightforward fight to score.
I wanted to put Shillan on my cut list, simply because she's missed weight a bunch of times now. I think she's lost 2 fights in a row. But then I was like, the division is so shallow. You really can't cut anybody who's at least a quality fighter, and she's a quality fighter.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, if I don't cut her, does that really make the division any more shallow? She doesn't fight in the division anyways.
Yeah, it just screws another woman 3 months down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do with Santos? Santos on a nice little run.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There, again, a couple fights coming up within the next 4 weeks or so that need to shake out, because the next title challenger in that division is coming up. We got Norma Dumont versus Ketlin Vieira on November 1st. And we have Jacqueline Cavalcanti versus Mayra Bueno Silva on the 8th. I think if Dumont wins over Vieira, she's the obvious next title challenger. If she doesn't win, I'm taking the next most impressive person out of those and giving them the title shot, and it might be Santos.
Yeah.
If she doesn't get it, then I'm giving her one of the other winners. I'm giving her Vieira. I'm giving her Cavalcanti. Yeah.
And that's obviously not counting Amanda Nunes, who sounds like it's all but done. She's coming back.
I'm really talking about for the winner of that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to jump the line to begin with. But yeah, I know you meant that. I just thrown it out there before someone, because there'll be that one person who'll be like, "Man, don't you listen to Keela's interviews? She's fighting Amanda." I'm giving her a bigger name. I'm giving it Juliana Pena. They somehow have never fought each other.
I'm just mad now that you reminded me that Juliana Pena exists.
Everyone hates Juliana Pena. All right. Chris Gutierrez took on Farid Basharat. Basharat winning in their decision. We talked earlier about Gutierrez. Like, should he take a slow climb or should he take a rapid climb? Basharat has got the slow climb, and then Gutierrez kind of seemed like it was going to be the very first test for him, and he shined. 30-27. No, actually, did he lose the third round?
I thought Gutierrez won the third round.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm misremember. Still, like, he clearly won the fight.
Yeah.
I like his mixture of wrestling, his size, his straight right. I think he looked good.
Agreed. He looked excellent. He dropped around. There are things to take to the drawing board. Like, you don't want to fade late in a division with Merab Dvalishvili sitting on top of it. But considering that, again, he's 13-0 and he's just been taking a logical progression of upgrades and opponents, this is exactly what you wanted to see.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that bothered me about, I don't think Gutierrez had a good chance of winning, but why did he get away from the calf kicks? There was no calf kicks. That's his bread and butter.
Yep.
I don't know if he was so worried about the takedown that he wanted to throw. I don't know. I thought he had a very limited window of winning, and then he made it even more narrow, or a little very narrow path, I should say, not window. What are you doing? What are you doing, Basharat?
He needs a step up. Like, I'm giving him someone. If you just want to slap together two people on big win streaks and just say something's got to give him like Vinicius Oliveira. Oliveira is 5-0 since he joined the UFC. If you want to use an old name to kind of build Basharat, find like pull out someone like Marlon Vera or Song Yadong.
So Marlon Vera's fighting Amin Zahabi. I think the loser of that would be a perfect matchup. I think that would be the right progression up.
There you go.
The second fight of the card, Austin Vanderford took on Ramiz Brahimaj. Brahimaj winning by second round submission. We both mentioned that Vanderford was a huge favorite. I think we both picked Vanderford, but we both didn't like the line. We thought the line was way off, and yeah, clearly it was.
Yeah, I mean, the real eye opener was that Brahimaj wrecked him with a strike before tapping him out.
I think I think also I think he worked the cage well when Vanderford took him down. Like he used the cage to not just get up, but put himself in position where he could land some elbows and kind of frustrate Vanderford. Had Vanderford thinking about that, and then he was able to catch the 10-finger guillotine, which is a hard submission to catch. So yeah, Brackman has a nice little run. Yeah, are you believing it at all?
This fight actually goes a ways towards making me do so because, again, it's cool that he won. I picked Vanderford to win. I'm fine being wrong on this. But what I liked out of his performance was I figured when Vanderford took Brahimaj down, Brahimaj would just like, he'd waste time on the bottom. He'd like lose rounds, get beat up a little bit, and just, I could just see him losing the whole fight that way. When I picked Vanderford by decision, that's kind of what I pictured, is at least 2 rounds where Vanderford takes him down, and that's the round. Brahimaj like did smart things on the bottom, and then in the second round, yeah, caught him and put him away. Good stuff. Yeah, he's at least proven that he definitely belongs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's done a nice. He's kind of turned his career around a little bit because he was starting to look sharp. But yeah, and the first fight of the night, Veronica Hardy took on Brogan Walker, with Hardy being just clearly way better than Walker. I actually thought it was a bad performance by Hardy because I thought if she stepped on the gas, she was better on the feet. She's better on the ground. I think she could have got a finish.
Agreed.
Anything else you want to say about this fight?
Not really. Just she made it look like a walk in the park, but it could have been a shorter night of work.
Yeah, could be a shorter walk. Yeah. All right, there you have it. We've covered all 14 fights, and let's get to the fun stuff. The Bulls and Bears, the cut list, dude. Seriously, the grade, the awards. Anything particular you want to go first?
Nope, I'm good with any of them.
All right, let's. Do we have the awards?
Awards, I'm certain we do. I'm looking at it. Yes.
All right. So what do we have? We have 4 performances. No fight.
Nope, we have a fight of the night and 2 performances of the night.
All right. Do you agree with them?
None of them are undeserved.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, at a glance, yeah, there's some other people I might have.
All right. How about this? Then just kick it off. Tell me what you would. What would you give it to first?
Performance of the night, Alex Pereira. But I don't normally love giving it to main event fighters. Sure. I'd rather it go to an undercard fighter for whom it is literal life-changing money. But
80 seconds.
80 seconds to avenge a loss.
Did he get punched?
Yeah.
Did he even get punched tonight?
Nope, I don't think so. So he's definitely getting one. Yusuf Zalal is getting one.
Yeah.
Like, people have beaten Josh Emmitt. Nobody's done that to him.
No. Did he get punched?
Yeah. I am giving one to. I'm not giving a fight of the night. I'm giving a performance of the night to Ramiz Brahimaj. Okay. I mean, one of the nastier cuts you'll see this year. Sure. A win in the fight where he was like a 3-1 underdog, and giving one to Yuri Prochazka. Now, I'll tell you, in the actual awards, Prochazka and Roundtree won fight of the night, so he actually got double bonuses.
So I would have done that.
I wouldn't give a fight of the night, but Yuri gets 50,000 for the finish.
Okay, so I would have done fight of the night. I would have gave. I definitely would have gave it to Yuri and Roundtree. I mean, obviously, Paheda, no brainer, and I would have given it to Zell. So I liked your first 2 picks for sure. So you said Yuri got the performance and the fight.
Yep.
And then
so Roundtree gets 50,000. Yuri gets 100, and Pereira got and
Yusuf Zalal got nothing.
Yusuf Zalal got nothing.
Come on. I understand Prochazka made this great comeback, but like what Zalal was perfect.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes, like I don't know what else to say about that. Like Zalal put on a flawless performance. But the UFC gave 5 awards because Joe Pyfer got 50,000 as well.
Even more reason to like, why did Yusuf Zalal get something? All right. Sperron brought up dude seriously. So let's get into dude seriously. Ben, do you have any dude seriouslys?
I have a couple.
All right,
I'm never
take it
prepared
off.
for this. I've got a couple. And I for old time's sake, because of my long memory in this sport and all the fond memories, I don't normally go in on Joe Rogan. But two of the things he said tonight were so spectacularly off base that I wrote them down.
I think we have one for the same, because I wrote one for Joe
One
Rogan
of them was
too.
probably the same. The less obvious one was him repeatedly calling Khalil Roundtree undersized. He's not the tallest guy in that division, but he's not undersized. Like, in fact, he and Prochazka probably weigh about the same walking around between camps. They're probably both like 230, 235 pound guys. He's not undersized.
Freakishly big.
Yeah. Like, Roundtree's under tall, but that's a different thing. The most obvious one to me was Rogan calling Macy Sisson a consummate professional. Like, she was the literal antonym of a consummate professional. She has had 13 UFC fights. She has missed weight 3 times in 2 different divisions, and that's not counting the forced catch weight she had, where, both fighters agreed to it, but Sisson was the one who needed it, because she's the one. Yeah. It was a 140-pound catch weight fight. She's the one that came in at 139.5, and Vieira was like 137, and then kicked her in the guts. Like you can lose and be professional. You can't miss weight and be professional. She's missed weight in literally a third of her UFC appearances. She's not professional. Like, now here's the thing. One of these days, she's going to get that bullet removed from her, and it's going to turn out to be like a 4-pound cannonball, and that will have been the problem the whole time.
That's it. Yeah. She'd make 125 and take it out. You any other ones?
Yeah. And again, if we wanted to just say reffing and judging in MMA suck, that could be a segment each time. But I am going to call out veteran, busy UFC judge Eric Colon for giving Merab Dvalishvili a 10-9 round in round 2 against Cory Sandhagen. If that's not a 10-8 round, like, I don't know what is. That was closer to a 10-7 round than 10-9. Like, 10-7 is not only could it have been stopped, it probably should have.
Yeah.
That was closer to that than to 10-9.
Yeah.
That was a wrecking.
All right. Anybody, any other ones?
No, those are my 3.
All right. I'm gonna. So we didn't have the same one for Joe Rogan. So I'll give you my Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan gets in the ring. Listen, I understand he is checked out. He didn't do any research, but he goes, Daniel Santos, you were a big underdog tonight, and you shocked the world. Santos was the favorite, dude. Seriously. How about listen? This is gonna be a good dude. Seriously, help me out with my man Nikolai Veretennikov. Veretennikov's coach yelling out, "He's out! Talking about Soriano when he's clearly not unconscious. Like, dude, you guys getting ass kicked? It was worth a shot, dude.
Give it a try.
Nice idea.
It's kind of like Mark Hunt. Anytime your opponent goes down, throw your hands in the air and walk away. What's the worst that can happen? They tell you to come back and fight some more. Yeah.
Another one for Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos running in the crowd and throwing Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook and like a gazillion other businesses, one of the richest people on planet Earth, a t-shirt. Dude, seriously? Like, Mark Zuckerberg could buy that t-shirt business without even breaking a sweat. Like,
but the one thing,
he doesn't need just a t-shirt, dude. Seriously.
But the one thing Mark Zuckerberg cannot buy is like cool people taking him seriously. So he actually took that shirt home and is going to frame it.
But you know what, dude? As you walk out the cage, take your shirt off and throw it to some kid in the crowd.
Yeah,
who would actually keep that? Mark Zuckerberg, who he's probably like hang out with freaking Michael Jordan tomorrow. Like you got Daniel Santos, dude. Seriously. And my last one, my dude, seriously, is not as good as I usually. I was didn't get to listen to the broadcast as much. I was doing a lot of behind the scenes work. But did you catch a fan getting shown in the crowd with a baby? Who goes to Vegas with a baby at a UFC? Like, dude, seriously?
That
spring for a babysitter. Come on.
And it was someone going bananas, I think, when a foreign fighter lost. So it might have been somebody who flew in from, something Stan.
I don't want to hear
But
that.
I
I don't care.
I don't.
Keep the baby at
But
home.
yeah, either way, that was wild.
Dude, seriously. All right, let's get to the cut list. The cut list. If both me and Ben have the same fighter on our list, we give the UFC permission to get rid of him. Ben, we had 14 fights. You know what that means? That means a lot of cuts. I got 5.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4, and I am sure open to adding another.
All right, Ben, give me your first one.
It might not even be necessary. Like Brogan Walker might
Sure.
re-retire, but she's lost 3 in a row, 5 of 6.
Yeah, see you later. She hasn't won a
She's
fight
0-3 in the
years.
UFC. Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't won a fight in 4 years. She is also mine. Let's give you the next one.
I'm letting Macy Chiasson go. If you can't make weight and the UFC doesn't have a weight class above you, like, she's a good fighter, but it literally doesn't matter. The UFC doesn't have a roster spot for you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I saved Macy Son as what I said. But yeah, she doesn't make weight. But I did. I saved her. I don't know. I don't know why. But I did save her. Give you the next one.
Nikolai Veretennikov, you're 1-3 in the UFC.
Yeah,
and
3 to 4.
Yeah, and the one you won was a split decision over a not very good fighter.
So. No, yeah. See you later. And who's your last one?
That was 1, 2, 3. Who was my other one? Yeah, did I only have 3? Oh, right, tell me what you got.
I'll tell you who you saved. I normally don't cut people after one loss in the UFC, especially if you come in on short notice. But I'm just for his own health. My man Tristan Vines. I'm sorry, you are not useless. When you got cross facing your back, dude. Seriously, I'm throwing dude seriously on this guy. I'm getting rid of him.
I'm okay with that. Again, he'll probably be on the Contender Series within the next year, even if they do let him go.
And he's losing that fight too. unless he fights someone in New England, then he'll win. But Andre Moniz, I'm getting rid of him. He's lost 4 out of 5. He just looks done. I think he's the good times. There was a time when he was the guy that was going to beat Izzy Adesanya. He was the guy, and those days are done. Well, he still might be Izzy because he's pretty shot too. And the guy you saved, I don't know if I want to bring you back probably an hour or so back in the show. Let's go in the rewind machine. Ben, you said I don't remember. I don't recall. Who did you say you wanted Josh Emmett to fight next?
If assuming Josh Emmett didn't retire, I was going to say Steve Garcia, David Onama winner.
Yes, you did. Yes, that is correct. If you caught it, I never gave my answer. Because it's time to cut Josh Emmett. He's lost 4 out of 5. He's 40 years old. I'm not giving him a chance to retire. I'm cutting him. But you know what? He's fighting like freaking Mike Perry and bare knuckle boxing instead. But I would be getting rid of Josh Emmett. So let's get to the Bulls and the Bears. The Bulls and Bears are stock market reference. You want to be on the Bulls list. You do not want to be on the Bears list. We do it hockey style. 3, 2, 1. Ben, let's go positive.
All right.
And I'm gonna let you kick it off. So you want to be on the Bulls list. Who do you have for the Bulls list?
Okay, Bulls list. Considering that I've been harping all night on people winning, but me still not being totally sold on them, there were actually a number of Bulls candidates. Ones I'll throw out there. Ramiz Brahimaj. Again, he wasn't favored, to say the least. Found a good way to win, avoided some of the habits that had really plagued him in his first couple shots in the UFC. So good news for him. Fareed Basharat. Undefeated, arguably the best prospect in that division, passed his hardest test to date. Exactly the way you'd want to see. I mean, it would have been great if he'd blown Gutierrez out of the water, but Gutierrez is a really, really good fighter. For him to clearly win 2 rounds and then kind of hold on and not fold late, that might be as good as we can ask right now. That's good stuff right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and snatch up Yusuf Zalal. Emmitt might be shot. At least one of us is advocating for him to swing off into the sunset at this point. But that was flawless stuff, and the kind of win that probably makes a few other 145-pounders look quietly nervous. Good stuff out of Yusuf Zalal. That's my 3.
Sorry, you had Zalal, Brakimai. Who's the other one?
And Basharat.
Oh, Basharat, yeah. All 3 are good choices. I'm gonna go with Yana Santos as my number 3. She's on a 3-fight winning streak. She got a little extra change. Got 20, at least was it? I don't know. I think it was 20% of Macy Chassan's purse. So got a big win. One of the better wins. Probably her best win of the streak. Yana Santos. My number 2. Listen, this was a absolute slaughter. It was a squash match. It was someone should be arrested for putting these 2 guys in the cage. But Atiba Gaudier, the way to do what he did, to cross face someone right to his back, having people, you mentioned, I mentioned it, that he could be the next Francis Ngannou. To me, I mean, his stock is through the roof right now. And my number 1, I hate going to the main event, but he's captured the title one more time. Avenge a loss, put all doubt away, showed that he is the superior fighter. He has now won the UFC title 3 times. Of course, I'm talking about Shama himself, Alex Pereira. So let's go to the Bears list. You do not want to be on the Bears. These people had a bad night or different themes that had a bad night. My number 3, I'm going to go with Khalil Roundtree. Everything was going right. He was on his way to having probably the best win of his career. He looked sensational. Instead, he's now lost 2 out of 3 fights. But worse than just losing, the amount of damage he took in this fight. He ate a lot of shots. This is right after he ate so many shots from Alex Pereira not that long ago. At this age, losing 2 out of 3 by knockout, tons of damage, not good for his career. Khalil Rountree's stock dropped. My number 2, Macy Chassan. Missed weight, lost 2 in a row. You're talking about cutting her. I don't think it's out of the possibility we don't see her again. So Macy Chassan has had better times. And my number 1, if this guy's run in the UFC couldn't be worse. It's Patchy Mix. To go from top 5 guy in the world at least to, I don't know if he's top 50 right now. His UFC run has been as bad as anybody's I can remember in history. Patchy Mix is my number 1 bear. Who do you got?
I agree with all those. I won't add 3 more. One of us, kind of the same as one of us, needed to name Pereira as one of the bulls. I'll throw out Ankalaev as a bear because here's the thing. For all the other reasons, he is going to have a tough road back to the title picture. Whatever happens next, he's always going to have the longest road just because of the marketability thing.
Best thing that can happen to him is if Pereira leaves the division.
Yeah.
Don't forget this guy. The UFC doesn't want him to champion so bad. He arguably won. He had a draw for the title. 99% of people said he should have won, and he still had to win a whole bunch of fights to get a title shot again. So that was a good point.
Number 1, letting Ali Abdelaziz run your social media for you. Because if there's one thing we really learned tonight, like UFC 320, don't piss off Poatan. It takes a special kind of dude. And I'm not even talking about Ali Abdelaziz as a person, because he's terrible, or a manager, because he's adequate just because of terrible collusion with the UFC, but specifically as the guy that so many of his non-American clients just hand their Twitter over to. And this time, Ali absolutely just picked a fight with one of the people in this sport that you least want to piss off, apparently. And he wrote checks that Magomed's face had to cash. Bad night to let Ali Abdelaziz run your Twitter for you.
Yeah, don't do that. Ben, what was your grade for the card? Because I think the grades could be all over the place. What was your grade, overall grade?
B+.
Wow, you're much higher than me. Good, go speak further about it.
Okay, it's definitely a recency thing because the last 3 fights left me buzzing. Like, I'll take 5 rounds of Merab anytime. Like, I don't think he's boring. And then the Prochazka Roundtree fight had at least a round of the year candidate. Like round 3 might be a round of the year candidate.
Sure.
And then the main event was a revelation. It gave us enough that we could have talked about that for 2 hours tonight if we wanted. That upgrades a card that up until then was kind of cruising to be a D.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C+. So that to me, that's still like a decent. Like to me, a C is like, okay, that was worth paying for. Yeah, that's average. And I think the main card really saved it. Obviously the destruction of Pereira. Yeah, I always like the main event to go a little bit longer and have more action, but it's also fun to see pure dominance. I'm with you. I like Merab. I like watching him fight. The Roundtree Prochazka fight was nuts. What Zalal did, even the pipe fight, the main event, the main card was awesome. The prelims was so bad. It was there might have been 1 or 2 highlights on the whole, and it was like 172 of them. So C+.
Okay.
Toughest question tonight is always, who is your listener of the night? We had a very active chat, some really good ones. Who are you giving the crown to tonight?
And it's only tough because I cannot remember his or her name, but whoever it was in the first half of the show that reminded me of Sean Shirk eating baby food during training, just I'm dying. I'm still like it brings back so many memories.
There you go. I don't remember who it was either, so we should have wrote the name down.
Oh, Vice Valerie. There it was. Yeah.
There you go. Vice Valerie. Nice job. Congratulations, Vice Valerie. I know this person has won before, but they just, between the comments, they were just on point. To me, I always look for volume, but also quality. I'm gonna go Mr. C, the informal Spectre. That Mr. C was killing it tonight. Really funny. Ninja Kitty always cracks me up, but Ninja Kitty is disqualified from winning. Or it's got to be a really great night for Ninja Kitty to win. But anyway, shout out to everybody else in the chat. It was fantastic. I love chatting with you guys. This is always my favorite couple hours of the week doing the recap show. So me and Ben will be back doing the preview. UFC Brazil, whatever it is, Charles Oliveira versus Matus Gamrot. We go in depth. We go deeper than any preview show, we believe, in the entire world. I truly mean that. No one goes as deep as we do. And then we'll be back a week from now recapping all of that action. He's Ben. I'm Keith. Thank you guys for listening. It's really late. Get some sleep. Congratulations to Alex Pereira, the new champion. And we'll see you next week.